Today, we're going to look at star metal, where it falls, ways to harvest it, and how to smelt it. Let's get into it. What's up everybody, Whack4863 here, and in order to smelt your black ice, you will need a furnace. Now put some fuel in there, put some brimstone and some black ice, and you will get 1 star metal bar for every 2 ore, 1 brimstone, and 1 black ice. Now that process can be sped up with a named thrall and a better furnace. You can see the star metal is just cranking out there super duper fast if you use this combination. So let's get right into star metal hunting. Now I have gone around and placed torches in locations that I have seen star metal in the past. Now we are starting down here by the outcast camp. We are going to run all around this section here. We're going to run along Skyfall Ridge and then down into the frozen north. Now I do pick this path because it is one of the safer paths, and a little disclaimer, I am doing this in God mode. You can see the gear and equipment that I have here. The torches are not necessary. I have explosive arrows, demon fire orbs, grease orbs, and explosive jars. Now I have seen star metal fall in this valley on a very regular basis. This valley is just up from the Mounds of the Dead, this area as well. And if I take you around the corner, we will actually see star metal. Now, if you look at the wiki and you believe what the wiki says, this ridge that I'm taking you to actually is the best place to find star metal. So right off the bat here, if we look up, there is a piece of star metal right there. Now, some people will tell you, oh, build foundations up to it, do this, do that. It really depends on what exactly you are using to harvest the star metal or to crack the star metal. So we're going to get rid of that torch just so it doesn't get in the way. But in this instance, I'm going to use my favorite tool to crack this star metal, which is actually explosive arrows. And you will see throughout this video that it only takes 1 explosive arrow most of the time. And then I simply climb up and actually stand on the star metal ore in order to harvest it. Now this is the process that I use on an official server all the time. I don't really vary from using the explosive arrows and just climbing to the star metal node. There's very few star metal nodes that I can't get to. So with that being said, let's talk about the equipment that I'm wearing. I have the Epic Flawless Veneer so that I can keep my temperature where I want it to be throughout this entire video. And then on top of that, I have the gliding joints on every single piece of this armor. And you can see how little stamina it took me to climb up there. So I suggest that for a climbing build, if you're going to come up here and do star metal ore and not use foundations to kind of get up to where you need to be, I definitely recommend the gliding joints for that climbing. Now the first few star metal ore that I'm taking you to here are actually the safest to come and get. This little area right here is not overwhelmed with a lot of enemies or a lot of animals. So all through that ridge right there that you just saw and this ridge here, that is all really safe area to come and get star metal. Now in this area here, there are 3 saber-tooths and a bear that you have to contend with. Most of the time you can actually run past them. If you run up this slope towards the outcast camp, they don't follow you too far. So deal with that accordingly to your game style or your level. Now I have seen star metal fall all through this ridge, all through this area here, and that's why I have a torch here at the top, is because this is all area where star metal can spawn. Now why do you want star metal? Star metal bar is used for an absolute ton of recipes for weapons, shields, armor, you name it, you can find something that takes star metal. So if you're looking to build really good quality gear, this is definitely something that you're going to want. Now you can see a star metal node there off in the distance up on the side of this cliff, but I happen to know there's one down this hill as well, and that's the ridge that we harvested the star metal from already. So I'm going to show you a second way up to this area that actually doesn't have any saber-tooths or bears or anything like that. If you wanted to come this way, this would be even safer than the way that I just showed you. And there it is just down below. There's another star metal. And if you continue running down that way, you would end up back down in the area where I harvested the star metal. So this one we are going to use some grease orbs and a demon fire. I find that 3 grease orbs is kind of the key number. The reason why I don't normally use grease orbs and demon fire is because the fire burns forever. So you have to stand here and wait for that fire to burn out before you can harvest that star metal. I'm going to put a timer on the screen so you can see just how long that is, but I feel like it's a really long time. The other reason why I don't use the orbs is because they're extremely heavy and you cannot give them to a thrall. If you give them to a thrall and get into a fight, your thrall is going to use those orbs. So I don't use them. I prefer the explosive arrows. Here we go to another one, and this one I'm going to show you how to use the foundations and the explosive jar. And it's kind of funny the way that this one goes. You'll see it when it comes up, but it doesn't go exactly the way that I expected. Now, just so you know, one of the mods that I am running is less building placement restrictions, so there's that. Just keep that in mind, that you may have a little bit harder time getting your bomb to be placed close. But my issue with bombs and the reasons why I don't use them: one, they are very expensive to make. You can make 10 explosive arrows for the amount of demon powder that it takes to or dragon powder, the amount of dragon powder that it takes to make one bomb. And in my mind, 10 explosive arrows means I can open 10 star metal nodes versus one bomb where I can only open one star metal node. So you can see my bomb rolls all the way down to the hill. It does happen to break that piece. I don't know how that worked. Normally, I don't think that would happen. So just keep that in mind if your bomb rolls. Maybe shoot your explosive jar with an arrow to get it to explode. But that is another way that people do harvest star metal. So let's move on here to this node up here. And I want to show you that you can climb to all this stuff. It's really, really simple. It's not that hard. And you can even get to this node down here by climbing. So we're actually going to run around the opposite side of this area. And just so you know, once you're up here, the only thing you have to contend with is the cold and then the mountain goats. So it really is a safe area as long as you come equipped for the cold. But if you run up this side, it's a very short climb. You could do this with any gear. I think it's really not a climb that's going to bother anybody once you get up here. So here we are. We just come right up over this ridge. There's that star metal there, and then there's the one we cracked down there. So pretty easy to do, in my opinion, guys. So let's continue on here. I'm going to show you the way that you would go. This is the safest route to get to kind of the final area where you can find star metal. So if you continue along this path, and we'll stop right about there. If you continue there, you can find some black ice. Head up that way, you can find some black ice. But for this, we're going to head down here. Now, we call the area that I've skipped the Gauntlet, and that's basically the low area of the frozen north. You're going to find tons of high level animals in and throughout there, from wolves to mammoths to saber-tooths, and they are everywhere in that area below, down in the trees and down near Islet Lake. So coming along this ridge really allows you to avoid all that dangerous area, so that's the reason why I chose this route in particular. So as you can see, we're just coming right around here, stay up on top of this ridge, and we will come right out to a flat spot. The area that we're coming up to is one of the more dangerous areas to harvest star metal. So keep that in mind when you're coming up. But as you can see, we've got star metal up here on the statue. It can also be in any of the snow area here. It could be off to our right and our left, both sides. It could be in this rock wall, stuck in the side of there. And it could be in the farther statue as well. Now, if we continue up this way, the obelisk is through that kind of cavern of ice there. I have seen star metal spawn all in through there as well. And then in this open slope area near this saber-tooth, and you can see my torch there, there's star metal that does spawn and fall all in this area. So this is a great little area, and if you're coming off the obelisk, it's really close to kind of get to that. But you can see there's saber-tooths and things all over the place. I'm in cloak mode, so that's why it's not attacking me, but you could imagine just how much you have to go through to harvest star metal up in this area. And there you can see there's a star metal node there. There's also a star metal node down and to our left. Now, what I want to say about this area is that anywhere in the trees, you're going to have issues. So you can see there's star metal down there. But the tree area is going to be the most dangerous. You can see a saber-tooth and a elk fighting over there. Here's a mammoth. And let me actually take you up over here real quick. This area as well, you do find star metal from time to time spawning in this flatter area up here. Now, the most dangerous piece of star metal that I find spawn on a pretty regular basis is actually down here. So let's count the saber-tooths. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4. We passed one earlier, so that makes 5. 5 saber-tooths and a mammoth just in that area alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And a mammoth. And there's another mammoth off in the distance and another mammoth. So this star metal node is probably the most dangerous one to come and get. Also anything in the trees there. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is a recap of where we came. We started there. We looked all down here, went across that ridge, and then down into here. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it. I'll catch you next time. Peace.